Well, YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the hot lead zone, and you know the problem these days getting the wads we want. Can't get any Winchester AA 12 wads like we want to. Can't get the powders we want like HS6 or Blue Dot, powders like that, and I'm running out of unique. So we have some Herco, but the Herco loads are only so far. So what's a reloader to do? Well, let's go ahead and load the Lyman 525 Slug backwards with a shot and elastomer in there. Let's load the 690 round ball. Let's load the Lee 7/8 ounce slug. We'll use the AA Winchester hulls, and we'll use the 12S0 and 12S3 Federal wads, and also the Windjammer wad. And we'll go ahead and make some loads and test them out and see what we got. And for powder, we're going to use Promo, because that's the only other powder I have that's suitable. So normally I wouldn't use Promo, but Promo is the same as Red Dot. So let's go ahead and load some up. You'll find out what the loads are when we get to the range. And so there's my chronograph set up, and we'll show you what the reading. So YouTubers, we're here at the range and we're testing 12 gauge slug loads using the Mossberg rifled barrel, Bushnell 1.5 by 4.5 power variable tactical scope. So the load is 12 gauge AA shot shell hulls and Remington 209 primers, 19.1 grains of red dot, the Federal 12S0 wad, and a Lee 7/8 ounce slug. Now you'll notice that I'm using AA hulls that have been reloaded at least a half dozen times. These are on their last legs, and it doesn't affect the accuracy, as you'll see. Now we're shooting the 7/8 ounce Lee slug 12 gauge at 12.5 yards from a rest, and that first shot right here was from a cold barrel. The other 5 run right in here into a 1-inch group. So that's not bad load. It's 19.1 grains of red dot powder. Here is a 25-yard group from a rest with that same load, 19.1 grains of red dot powder, and the Federal 12S0 wad with that 7/8 ounce Lee slug in AA Winchester cases. That happens to be a 2.5-inch group with the 5 shots, and then the 6th round left the group a little bit, but that's not bad. And here's that same 19.1 grains of red dot load with the Federal 12S0 wad and the 7/8 ounce Lee slug, but loaded in Remington unibody cases, the black ones. And there's 2 shots in there that's almost touching at 25 yards rested. That's got some definite possibilities. So here's a 10-shot group shot with the Lee 690 round ball, 12 gauge, 19.1 grains of red dot powder at 25 yards from a rest. That's a 3.5-inch group for 10 shots. That's not too bad, but it's not as good as some of the other groups we've been shooting today. So YouTubers, let's review what we have in these recipes. Take a Winchester AA hull, the Federal 12S0 wad, the Lee 7/8 ounce slug, the Remington 209 primer, red dot powder, 19.1 grains. And if you put all this together, you will get 1190 feet per second muzzle velocity. It'll get you 1-inch accuracy at 12.5 yards and 2.5-inch accuracy at 25 yards from a rest. So you figure at 50 yards we'll probably be getting somewhere around 5 or 6-inch groups at 50 yards with this load. Not too bad, and usable for deer hunting, hog, this kind of thing. And if you substitute the Remington unibody hull instead of the Winchester AA hull, you'll get the same kind of accuracy and the same kind of performance. Now YouTubers, this recipe may have some utility, and that is we're using the AA hull, the Remington 209 primers, 19.1 grains of red dot powder, but for the wad we're using the Windjammer wad, and then the slug is the Lee 690 round ball. And this load gave us 990 feet per second muzzle velocity, and 10 shots went into 3.5 inches at 25 yards from a rest. So not too bad for that load. So the important thing about this wad and slug combination is that the Windjammer wad has thin petals that allow the wad and the slug to go through cylinder bore and rifled barrels without stripping the petals off the wad and losing accuracy. Now this combination, using the 19 grains of red dot, AA hull, and 209 Remington primer, did not do well with the Federal 12S3 wad and the Lyman 525 backward loaded slug with elastomer and shot in the cavity. This combination shot 6-inch groups for 10 shots at 25 yards, and the muzzle velocity was 1150 feet per second. But the accuracy is not acceptable. We're not going to be doing any red dot loadings with this slug wad combination. But we know that this is shot better with Herco loads. YouTubers out there, take care. We'll see you next video. Bye for now.